Guys, here I'm your teacher Keshav Sleem. Our today topic is particulate nature of matter. You will learn that everything is made of matter and particles are combined to form different physical states of matter. Here is the contents of topic we are going to discuss. Let's start with the introduction. Matter exists in three forms: solid, liquid, and gas. If a substance is solid, it can be converted to liquid and gas as particles can be separated from each other as they combine together. All the three states have different properties. Matter can neither be created nor destroyed, but its state can be changed. All matter is made up of small particles called atoms. In solids, the particles are tightly packed. On melting, these particles move away and form liquids. Here I want to correct. Pure substances consist of atoms or molecules. A molecule is combination of two or more than two atoms, whereas an atom is a single particle which is consists of nucleus and electrons. On the melting, these particles move away and form liquids. On boiling, these particles move far away and form gases. It means there is a larger space between particle to particle in gas case. The existence of particles, atoms in matter can be proved experimentally. Here are the properties of three states of matter. Solids have definite volume and shape. Particles in solids are very tightly packed. Solids cannot be compressed. Their densities are high. They possess vibrational motion only. Liquids have definite volume but no shape. Particles are relatively away from each other. Here you can correct. These are close but are able to slip over each other. Particles are in constant state of motion. The densities are less than those of solids but greater than those of gases. Liquids transmit the pressure applied on them and are not compressed. Gases have no definite volume or no definite shape. Gases can diffuse and effuse. These are two terms you will learn in this chapter. Gases can be compressed by applying pressure. The sudden expansion of gases produces cooling. Gases exert pressure on the walls of the container. So here you will find that these are the diagrams of solid, liquid, gas, and this is the conversion graph and change of state. You will learn in this example. You can find that solid particles are just vibrating. They are not moving from one point to another point, but it's just the vibrations. Here in liquid case, you can find particles are close and they can evaporate even, but the rate of evaporation is slow under normal conditions, and these are in state of motion. This is the gas. In gas, particles are far apart and they are moving randomly and they are hitting the walls of container. In this demo, you can observe that in case of solid, particles are just vibrating, and when it is melting is solid and liquid, and the melting has completed. Now the boiling has started. Liquid and gas both are in proportion, and here all liquid has converted to gaseous state. So I'll like to explain here in detail. In solid, particles are just vibrating. When you start heating, the energy of particles increases and they start moving apart, and when is at this point melting is started, and you can observe in this stage liquid and solid both are existing, and if we continue supply heat at this point, solid has completely converted to liquid. Now the temperature starts rising again, and it will reach up to the boiling point. When at this point boiling has started and the rate of evaporation is high, and it will take some time to convert completely into gaseous state. So at this stage you can find that it has converted into gaseous state completely. So this graph is known heating curve, and you can find these are the flat regions indicating the change of state. Here you can find there is a change of state. These are the flat regions. Here melting, this was the melting process, and this was the boiling process, and the slant line or rising upward lines indicating the change in temperature. At this stage gas has completely formed, and now the gas particles are far apart and they are moving randomly in all possible directions. This video will help you to understand further. Here is the arrangement of particles. Particles are closely packed. This is solid state, and this MP for melting point. When temperature reach up to the melting point, this is completely converting to liquid. When liquid has completely formed, its temperature starts rising and the rate of evaporation is increasing. You can find that more number of particles are in gaseous state. At boiling point, it will rapidly escape into gaseous state, but this temperature will stay for a while until or unless all liquid is converted to gaseous state. In this case, when substance has boiled off, temperature then start rising again. So this is also the heating curve. You can find temperature is rising. At this time temperature will stay constant until or unless solid completely converts to liquid, and then liquid temperature start rising and it will convert into gaseous state. Here the conversion has started. At this point conversion has completed. So when liquid is completely converted, it will further rise in temperature. So these two flat sections are indicating the change of state. So solid, liquid, gas, and when a solid is converted to gaseous state, these are the stages which a substance come across, and the state will change while heating. So the change in state, we can name them when solid converted to liquid at a constant temperature, that is called melting. When a liquid changes to solid, this is called freezing. The temperature at which liquid melts and freeze, that will be same. For example, ice melts at 0 degree and water also freeze at 0 degree. On the other side, when a solid completely converts to gaseous state without going into liquid state, this is called sublimation. And when gas converts to solid reverse, this is called solidification. And in terms of liquids, when liquid converts to gas at a constant temperature, that is called evaporation or boiling process, and gas converts to liquid at a certain temperature, at fixed temperature, that is called condensation. So these are the interconversion stages of a solid to gas solid to liquid, liquid to gas, and gas to liquid, liquid to solid. Regarding exam point of view, you can be asked to mark the sections where there is a solid and liquid. You can find that A to B, this is solid, and at point B, solid has started to convert in liquid state. At point C, liquid will complete. Now the temperature of liquid will rise and this will start changing into gaseous state, and at E point conversion is completed and then the temperature start rising. So this is called heating curve. If this process is reversed, this will be named cooling curve, and you can find this is the condensation and this is the freezing stage. Whereas this is the boiling, this is condensation, this is melting, and opposite of melting is freezing. You can find that the levels in both cases are the same. It means the temperature at which a substance melts, at the same temperature it will turn into solid, mean it will freeze. Criteria of purity: we can assess the substance purity as pure substances melt and boil at the same temperature. So word substance stand for elements and compounds. Element are the substances made of same type of atoms, and whereas the compound is a substance or a material made of same type of molecules. If another substance is mixed with the material, that is called impurity. It will be in small proportion, so it affects the physical properties of pure substance, for example melting and boiling point. So melting and boiling point change with addition of impurity. So you will find this demo how melting point and boiling point vary with respect to impurity. As a matter of fact, impurity raises the boiling point and lowers the melting point. For example, seawater will boil above 100 degree and it will freeze below 0 degree, whereas pure water boils at 100 degree and freeze at 0 degree or melt at 0 degree. So this is the difference. Impurity lowers the melting point or freezing point, whereas it increases the boiling point, right? So here is the demo for this. Let's say we are introducing impurity. In this case, we add some impurity in this material. Look at 100 gram water, we have added 9.8 gram impurity in water. This is sodium chloride. When we added sodium chloride, you will find that it will boil above 100 degree. This is boiling point of pure water. But practically, when impurity is added, it is boiling above 100 degree. You can find the microscopic view. Particles are having resistance against the purity. These particles are preventing the pure particles to escape. On the other side, when we are cooling the substance, it will freeze below 0 degree. So the same conditions we maintained, but now we are cooling the substance. You will find that how it is changing the freezing point. Here you can find that temperature is decreasing. I mean we are cooling the substance, and microscopic view you can find that when particles are trying to join with each other in order to solid, the impurity particles are resisting and they are preventing them to join with each other. So further temperature will be decreased to get the solid state of the substance, right? Here you can find water has freezed at minus 5.7 degree. So impurity has lowered the freezing point. So here are some evidences or proof. We can say that matter is composed of particles. So growth of crystal, diffusion process, effusion process, melting, boiling, freezing, evaporation, sublimation, all these are the evidences or proof that matter consists of particles, and particles are, when combined together, close together, they form solid. When they are loosely packed, they are liquid, and when they are far apart, they are in gaseous state. Diffusion is the process of spreading of particles or mixing of particles, material particles, from area of high concentration to area of low concentration. There are numerous examples to demonstrate the diffusion process, but few are here presented. Aroma, cooking aroma, I mean fragrance or smell of cooking material. Spreading of perfumes, solids and liquid diffuse slowly. Gases diffuse at fast rate. The rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to the molecular mass and directly proportional to the temperature. So here you will learn that how gas particles, solid particles and liquid particles diffuse. Here are some interesting examples to demonstrate the diffusion. These particles are in constant motion, representing the gaseous particles. Here is the example of bromine. Bromine, this gas jar is filled with bromine. Bromine is naturally liquid at room temperature, but at room temperature it evaporates to gaseous state. And we have placed an empty cylinder above bromine cylinder. Actually, this is not empty, containing air. So bromine will rise up. Although bromine is heavier than air, but diffusion can occur in all directions. So you can observe that the upper jar has completed. These are the bromine molecules and these are the air particles. So you can find that these are mixing together, and the rate of diffusion although will be different for the each gases. And these two flasks are vacuumed, and this is bromine gas vapors. When we release bromine due to vacuum, it will rapidly move towards the area where there is no bromine. This is the evidence that bromine moves from high concentration to low concentration. But if these flasks are filled with air, this rate of diffusion will be slow. So we can conclude that diffusion process is faster in vacuum and it will be slow in air containing jar or flask. So the comparison of the molecular mass, bromine is heavier gas, nitrogen dioxide, this is nitrogen dioxide, both have the same color almost. So we have placed air containing jars above both jars. You will find that nitrogen dioxide diffusing at faster rate, it is turning brown rapidly, whereas bromine is slow relatively. So it indicates the molecular mass effect on the rate of diffusion. More the molecular mass, lesser will be the rate of diffusion. And this is another example. Ammonia and hydrochloric acid, these are volatile, gaseous state. You can find this white smoke is forming when these two gases combine together. Same experiment we will repeat in another way. Cotton swab, it is ammonia containing, ammonia drop on the cotton swab, and the other hydrochloric acid is drop on the cotton swab. These cotton swabs are placed in a glass tube, and white fumes of ammonium chloride will form in the tube as both gases are moving towards each other. Here you can find that hydrochloric acid will move smaller distance. This is the hydrochloric acid gas moved a smaller distance as compared to ammonia. Ammonia has traveled faster because it is lighter gas and hydrogen chloride is heavier gas. The same experiment is repeated with pH paper. As hydrochloric acid turn ammon- uh, pH paper red and ammonia turning blue. So you can find that ammonia has turned greater part of the litmus paper as compared to hydrochloric acid. Here we can present that temperature also affects the rate of diffusion. These are three jar glass containing water. We are dropping ink in these glass of water in cold, in hot and in normal. So in this example it is evident that spreading of ink in hot is faster than the cold is faster than the is hotter is the fastest, normal is slower than hot and cold is slowest. So from these visual effects you can find that the rate of diffusion was fast in hot. This is normal. Normal means at room temperature. This is slower than hot, but it will be faster than cold. Cold means below room temperature. So this is cold water. In this case, spreading of ink will be at slow rate. From these examples, we can conclude the rate of diffusion is directly proportional to temperature. More the temperature, fast the rate of diffusion. Lesser the temperature, slow the rate of diffusion. So diffusion always occur in natural way. There will be no stirring. Particles move in natural way. So if you stir, this will not be diffusion, it will be mixing. So for diffusion, without any external influence, particles spread itself from higher concentration area to low concentration area. Here we can compare the rate of diffusion depending on the molecular mass. Hydrogen is the lighter gas, oxygen is the heavier gas. So these are two compartments. We have created vacuum in one and placed the gas in the other compartment. You will find that how this will be. Here if I start the gas, the gas particles are moving through a narrow jet hole. Rapidly they escape and they enter. You can find the number of molecules entering in the other compartment and the time can be compared. The number of particles left behind can also be determined. This experiment, I think, conveying a very good example of the diffusion depending on the molecular mass. So now we shift to the hydrogen gas, oxygen gas. Look at this, oxygen is heavier gas, it is diffusing at slow rate, less number of particles able to cross this barrier or this jet hole. So within the same time, lesser number of particles are crossing this path. This indicates the molecular effect or mass of substance. Heavier the substance, slow the speed or the rate of diffusion, and lighter the substance, faster the rate of diffusion. Here I'll show you effusion. Be vigilant for this example. This is 100 centimeter cube gas syringe. Different gases can be filled in this syringe. We shall demonstrate an experiment. All gases will be pushed with a constant force and we shall record time to get complete empty gas in gas syringe. will enter to the other tube, and all gases have different molecular mass. We are going to provide them same conditions. Under same condition, you will observe that they are taking different times to get exit from the narrow jet. So this has taken 5 seconds. Now the oxygen. Oxygen has taken more time than hydrogen. The next is xenon. Xenon is even heavier than oxygen. This is evident that xenon escape from the same narrow jet hole is at slow rate, as xenon is heavier, its molecular is bigger than the rest of two gases, so it's taking more time to escape from the narrow jet hole. Now krypton. Krypton is also a heavier gas, so this will take even more time. One thing, we can also use unknown gases, and this technique can also be used to determine the molecular mass of any unknown gas. If we plot the graph between the volume and time, volume is same, time is different because they have different molecular mass. So if some gas is unknown, we can plot the graph, and by recording the time, we can find the molecular mass by matching with the graph data. So it means gas X is slightly heavier than oxygen, but it's lighter than krypton and xenon. Gas Y, gas Y has taken 15.9 seconds, so it is lighter than oxygen but heavier than hydrogen. And gas Z, we shall wait how much it will take time. So this process is named effusion. Effusion means escape of gas through a narrow jet hole under a constant force. You can observe we have taken the same volume, same force is applied, but the gases have taken different time to escape. So a very clear example of the effusion, and effusion can be quoted as an evidence for the existence of material as particles. Growth of crystal can be quoted as the evidence, as matter is composed of particles. We have taken small sugar crystal, placed in concentrated solution of sugar solution. As you can observe, these are the corners, so molecules will join with these corners in the same way as this crystal has the shape. So this crystal is growing on because the particles are connecting with these corners and making the same type of shape, and they are resulting a bigger size of crystal. These are the previous examples, illustrations, as you have observed before. So crystal mean arrangement of particles in particular geometrical form. This geometry is cubical shape. So there are different types of crystals. Every substance has different shape of its crystal. So This is another evidence for the existence of particle nature. In this example, you will learn that how crystals are actually formed. Positive and negative ions link together. Look at this chlorine. Although this topic you will learn later, how electrons are transferred. This is solid crystal of sodium chloride. Sodium is losing electron to chlorine, becoming negative, and sodium become positive. Positive and negative ions cannot stay alone, so they stick together and they result a bigger geometrical shape. You can clearly observe that all sodium and chloride positive negative are joined together and they have resulted a cubical shape of the crystal. So kinetic molecular theory, this is the combination of scientific laws which explain the behavior of material particles and their motion. So all the matter consists of particles. The particles of matter are in continuous motion. Particles of solid only vibrate about their mean positions. Liquids can slip over each other. There is no space. I am correcting here. There is almost no space and they just vibrate. They slip over each other. They can move from one point to another point. Slightly translational motion. When a particle of liquid gains high kinetic energy, it escapes. It means it turns into vapors. Particles of gases are far away from each other. They move very fast in a straight line until they collide with another particle or the walls of container. Diffusion and effusion are due to this motion, movement of particles of matter. Rate of diffusion increase with temperature and decrease with increase in molecular mass. So the next is uh, you will observe that what is the effect of pressure and temperature on the particle. Here you will find when pressure is increased, gas particles come close to each other and the volume is reduced. This is the clear proof that gas particles were far apart, pressure bring them close to each other. Now when gas particles are heated, they gain energy, they exert pressure and they move up, away from each other and you can observe that the volume has increased with increase in pressure. Now increase in temperature at constant is increasing the pressure when volume is fixed. In this example, there is no piston. Cylinder has fixed volume, but temperature is increased. Particles will hit more frequently, violently to the walls of container, which rise the pressure. If gas is introduced in the same cylinder, so it means more contents of gas will exert more pressure and ultimately, so this will rise upward to increase the volume of gas. Here is demonstration for the solid when drop in liquid. So how it disperse, you can observe. In solution, solid particles disperse in liquid and liquid solvent contain the solid ions and it throughout disperse and move randomly everywhere. This is showing that how solid get dissolved in water. This was the example of sodium chloride dissolving in water. Water has the ability to surround positive and negative ions both. This is the close view. So water will overcome the forces between the positive and negative and it moves randomly in all possible directions and water molecules are in large excess although they have surrounded the salt particles. Here I end my lesson. Thank you very much for being with me. Have a good day. and definitely I shall upload its questions. Thank you. Have a nice day.